Hello everyone, welcome to my spoiler talk of Captain America. Whew, let's get into this one, shall we? So, this movie starts off with Thaddeus Ross becoming President of the United States. And then we immediately jump to 5 months later, which confirms that at least this movie takes place in April. Because of the fact that elections in America, which I recently learned because of the Trump-Harris stuff, that is in November. 5 months later would be April. So this movie takes place in April. However, from what I hear online, it apparently is supposed to be in 2027. So, I don't know what year, but anyway, he's now President of the United States, and Sam Wilson has been sent into a mission to retrieve something that was stolen, and it is for sale. So, Sam goes in, takes out some guys, and then afterwards he goes in the building because there are hostages. He frees the hostages, takes everyone out, and then he finds the leader, who is Sidewinder. It seems like he's the leader of something that was teased a long time ago, back in the year of potentially 2015, but that was only a joke because of the fact that they announced Captain America Serpent Society. Then it was like, haha, but actually it's Civil War. Yeah, apparently this guy is part of Serpent Society, so we have some Captain America stuff in this movie. However, Sam can't stop Sidewinder because of the fact that he has to deal with Copperhead, apparently, as he's called. So he deals with Copperhead, but Sidewinder has escaped. And also, Torres suits up as the new Falcon and takes the artifact back. And after the mission is done, Wilson and Torres are going to train with Isaiah Bradley, the super soldier who was like the Captain America, but black version, but then was in prison for 30 years. Him, that guy. So they have a little bit of a training, but Sam fails the training, and afterwards he gets a call from the president, which rubs as Isaiah in a horrible way. And then afterwards they talk about it a little bit, and then Sam is like, look, I got an invitation to go to the White House, and I asked them to extend an invitation to you as well, because there's gonna be a world leaders summit to talk about basically what was stolen. So they head over there, and Ross orders Sam to come to him, and then he talks about restarting the Avengers. That is something that needs to happen. Look, we ended that thing in 2019. Now it's 2025, and they're finally talking about restarting the Avengers. However, Sam's a bit on the defensive side, because technically Ross was the reason that the Avengers died in the first place. That was the whole Captain America Civil War. Basically, that was just the end of the Avengers. And also, he's not gonna work fully for the government. What if they want to save a cat out of a tree? Are they allowed to do that? And then it's like, look, we'll talk about that when that is needed. So now onwards to the presentation, and we learned that the thing that was stolen was a piece of adamantium. And also, you remember that Celestial in the sea? Yeah, that idiot is full of adamantium. So bring on Wolverine, even though we already had him in the MCU thanks to Deadpool and Wolverine. Love that movie, by the way. Much better movie. Go check that one out. And apparently Japan was the first one to get a sample of it, and that sample was stolen. So now that it was returned, hey, everything's fine, right? However, then a music plays. That apparently that song was called Mr. Blue. So that song plays, which causes Isaiah Bradley to just attack a guard, grab his gun, and shoot at Ross. So, yeah, Isaiah gets put into prison, which is like, okay, look, you gotta look at this from both sides. He was violently attacked in order to be taken down, but he also shot at the president. And I love how this movie does not try and play the race card. They never once in this, if I have to give a compliment to this movie, it is the fact that they don't play the race card. And I love that. So they take in Isaiah, and everyone just forgets about the Winter Soldier. I'm sorry, but like, what? Because it's like, tell me who did this. Look, Ross knows who did this. He knows exactly who did this, but he doesn't want it out. So in a sense, Isaiah is gonna take the fall so that Ross's secret can be kept safe. However, did everyone else forget the mind control from the Winter Soldier? Come on, everyone heard the music play, and then the attack happened. But like, nobody believes it. I get Ross's point of view where he's just trying to keep that a secret, but it is still a really stupid thing in this movie, because like, you should know. I mean, we've had mind-controlled characters before with Bucky. So, whatever. But Sam goes to the president, and the president is like, you are basically fired. Because, yeah, you're too close to this thing, okay? I can't put you on this because you're too close. Look at the way that it's gonna look in the public. If you hire your friends in order to prove that you're innocent, that is not a good look. Which he has a point, even though Sam wouldn't do that, but whatever. But also, I like this because of the fact that he's trying to keep it a secret. Like, Sam would figure out who's behind this and would figure out the truth. So Ross is kind of trying to bury the truth as well. So Sam storms out. And he's gonna do this on his own. Well, technically with Falcon. But he's gonna do this on his own. Even though the black woman there is like, you should not do this on your own. He's like, I'm gonna do it on my own. Simple as that. And then in the car, right, Sam is like, hey, Torres, I need you to help me figure this stuff out. And then they make a plan to meet up. However, afterwards, Sam gets attacked by Sidewinder, which makes me go, hey, look, Nick Fury from Winter Soldier. Yeah, you remember how he got attacked? Yeah, how about we do that again, but worse. But I like this fight, by the way, but it's just not as interesting as Nick Fury being killed by Winter Soldier. But I like this fight because it was very raw, because he doesn't have a suit, he doesn't have a shield. The only thing he has is just a little blade, and that's it. But he takes down Sidewinder and takes him in. Apparently, the buyer said that there was like a 77% chance or something like that, that if he was gonna survive, he was gonna try and talk Sidewinder down. Turns out that was true. By the way, that's the only thing that the villain of this movie gets right. And this villain is supposed to be smart. I don't get it. But afterwards, he gets a call. And then back at base, he wants Torres to basically trace that call. So they find out that it is in a special location. It is a base. Obviously, it's a military base. So they head over there. And then also we learned that that place is called Camp Echo 1. By the way, I'm doing this off memory. So it might be a little bit confusing. But I'm trying to get through this as much as I can. So they head over there. And Ross sends Ruth over there as well. That'll be fun. Also, Ross during this time is trying to salvage the treaty, but unless Japan joins in, he can't salvage it. So Ross goes to Japan, and Japan apparently has figured out that it was an American inside job. Apparently the CIA paid for Sidewinder to go and steal the adamantium. That's what they figured out. And then Ross calls him an idiot for being played, but he then gets even more nervous. And also throughout this movie, we see him get a bit more angrier as the movie progresses as well, because Ross wants to repent for his previous sins, which is going to be kind of difficult. So Sam and Torres arrive at the Camp Echo 1, and they go inside and they find out that it was basically just a lab, and they're wondering why. So they go into the files and everything until we finally get the reveal of the main baddie, and it is Samuel Stearns, also known as Leader from the end of The Incredible Hulk. Finally, we're getting that plot resolved. And also, if you're wondering why that plot has never been resolved, it's because of the fact that apparently after The Incredible Hulk, Stearns was caught and basically locked away right here until right now. So that's why we haven't heard from him. However, Stern escapes after he sends a bunch of mind-controlled people after them. And also, we now have the files that we need in order to potentially reverse the effects, or at least stop the effects of the music. So as we try to escape this base, Ruth shows up, and she then fights a bunch of guys, and then we have the whole conflict thing happen. But we escape together, and then when we get outside, we get arrested. But then those guys were also controlled thanks to the song, so everything just goes haywire. Also, this is the moment where Stearns loses everything, because he's like, I did not expect you to come here. I expected you to go to Isaiah when I put him in danger. By the way, Isaiah was put in danger, but I was expecting you to go there. And I'm like, you are supposed to have a brilliant mind. How are you being outplayed like this? You are being outplayed in the most easiest way possible. So they go back to base. Torres plays the Mr. Blue music, which, by the way, the whole Mr. Blue thing, I love that stuff because that's a reference to the Incredible Hulk. Because Stearns in the Incredible Hulk was called Mr. Blue. I like that. But they go back to base. No one is controlled. So Sam found a bunch of pills and he wants that to be analyzed. And also, now we gotta tell Ross everything. However, turns out, since the deal went wrong with Japan, Ross has decided he's gonna take the adamantium. So Ross and a bunch of military people are on their way to take the adamantium for himself. So Sam and Torres now have to suit up in order to stop that. And we get an actual pretty cool aerial combat over sea. It kind of reminds me of the video game Transformers Revenge of the Fallen on PlayStation 3 when you're trying to prevent Megatron's resurrection. I love that stuff. Sam goes to Ross and he's like, look man, I know everything. So let's talk in private. So they talk in private, and we learn the fact that Ross kept Stearns alive because Ross was dying. and Stern gave him pills that will allow him to survive. We'll learn the second half of this deal that he made with Stern later on, but I'm not gonna spoil that yet. But that's basically why he had him locked up. However, after he became president, he was supposed to release him, and he did not do that in fear of the fact that he was gonna lose his heart medication, basically. So Sam is like, look, me and Torres, we're gonna head out there, and you make sure to talk Japan down, okay? We don't need any of that. So they fly out and try to stop, because 2 people have gone rogue because they're being mind controlled by Leader. So Sam and Torres are trying to stop him while also trying to stop Japan. And like I said, the aerial combat in this part was actually pretty cool. I really like the flying and everything. Overall, really solid. The most solid thing in this movie. I thought this part was absolutely fantastic. However, as the missiles are being shot, Torres has to stop 2 missiles. So he shoots the first one and misses the second one. And then, stupidly enough, he gets in front of the missile and shoots it. And then also gets hit by the blast. Now he's knocked out. He lands in the water and Sam has to stop the final plane. So Sam goes to stop the final plane, and he actually does do that, but Torres is gravely wounded and we don't know if he will survive. He will, don't you worry about that one. So now Sam is on his own for the 3rd act. But at the hospital, we have Bucky Barnes. He is in this movie after all. What a nice guy. He shows up, gives Sam a little pep talk, and then leaves again. Never to be seen again. See you in Thunderbolts, by the way. That trailer played before this one. And it was actually the trailer that I had not seen yet. So that was great. It was the trailer in which everyone's like, yeah, you remember that Taskmaster chick that nobody liked? Yeah, she's probably gonna die. That trailer. However, the military people that Sam gave the pill to, they get information. The leader at least gets the information about the fact that what is in the pills, and it turns out inside of the pills is small amounts of gamma radiation. So basically, Stearns has been turning Ross into a Hulk, but slowly so that it's not noticeable. However, before he can call Sam about that stuff, he gets killed by Stearns like that. And also Stearns at that moment is like, yeah, I'm the hero of this story. I'm like, you killed people. You can't call yourself a hero at that point, okay? You're not really killing the bad guys. You are literally killing good people right now. What's wrong with you? Also, Bucky had a stupid thing that he said. Let's go over that one right now. So what's this? Bucky basically said, it's like, Steve gave people hope, but you give people something to aspire to. And I thought that was the stupidest thing, because Steve did both of those things. I don't know if you noticed, but Steve did both of those things. So that's a stupid thing to say. But whatever, doesn't matter. So now, Ross will have a public interview to basically clear all the doubts. However, during this interview, it seems a little bit rigged, because apparently Stern has released certain things about himself, and the press picks up on that and uses that in the questioning, which causes him anger. And more anger, and more anger. And also, Stern turns himself in and visits Sam beforehand and tells him like, yeah, my plan's not fully done yet. I'm gonna show you exactly who Ross is. He might say that he's changed, but he hasn't changed. So Ross turns into the Red Hulk and starts smashing a bunch of stuff, and now we have Sam versus the Red Hulk fight, which looks, in some parts good, but most parts awful. And they eventually get to the cherry blossoms that were talked about earlier, where he walked with his daughter. By the way, we do get the return of Betty Ross, but voice only at this point, provided by Liv Tyler, the actress who portrayed her in the Incredible Hulk movie. And she still has the flat voice that she had during that movie. I was like, okay, yeah, acting isn't it? I don't know if she's a fantastic actress or not, but it doesn't really seem like she's that fantastic of an actress. But whatever. But she's like, yeah, maybe I should have called you when you got, you know, assassinated during the assassination attempt, or like after that. It's like, yeah, maybe you should have. And then Ross is like, maybe we could take that walk across the flowers, and that's why the fight happens here. So a fight happens where Sam should have been killed 15 times over. I will say that right now. But that fight happens, but eventually Sam talks Ross down. Ross turns back to normal, turns himself in, and then to end the movie, Bradley gets exonerated, and also Ross resigns and has turned himself in fully. He is just completely done. And also, Sam invites Taurus to, I guess, as part of the new Avengers, or he talks about it again. It's like, yeah, but maybe we should restart the Avengers, you know? Who knows? And then finally, the post-credit scene is basically Stearns being like, hey, you know about the concept of multiverse? Yeah, that's coming. And apparently, the director of this movie was like, yeah, what Stearns was referring to was the Illuminati, which I'm like, I couldn't have guessed that. You could have given me 15 guesses and I still wouldn't have gotten that one right. What do you mean, the Illuminati? He basically just says, hey, there's gonna be attacks coming from other worlds. What does that have to do with the Illuminati? I thought the Illuminati were good guys. Are they bad guys? Like, I don't get it, dude. But that is the end of the movie, and it is just a cluster of things that just don't work. I wanted to love this movie. When I came out of the theater, I actually was like, yeah, this was pretty good. But then thinking about it, I was like, maybe this wasn't as good as I thought. And now talking about it, it's like, yeah, it's not really as good. It is not a bad movie. I want to say that. But it's not a great movie. I know people using that Punisher meme. I liked it. Hell, I loved it. No, I didn't. Okay? I enjoyed it enough for me to be able to be like, this is not one of the garbage movies. But it was like, the Rotten Tomatoes score is 49%. And I think it shouldn't be that low. It is not as bad as like the Marvels or Captain Marvel or something like that. You know, it is not that bad. But also, this is not really a score. It is basically just critics are like, yeah, 49% is like, yeah, it's alright. But overall, it seems to be like a 5 out of 10 kind of thing. And to be honest, I would say I gave it a 6 out of 10. I overall enjoyed this movie, but there are big problems. And this was actually a difficult spoiler talk to talk about, because the more I was thinking about it, the more confusing the whole thing got. So I hope I was able to talk about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. These spoiler talks, they don't really get the views that the normal things do, but the Incredible Hulk movie review got insane views. Got like 800 views, something like that. So thank you all so very much. I was not expecting it to get like 800 views. I woke up one day, I looked at the YouTube Studio app, and was like, my goodness, what happened? People must really like the Incredible Hulk. Me too. By the way, the Incredible Hulk, better movie than this. Also, just a little thought popped into my head as I was editing this thing, and that is the fact that it would have been better if Betty was there during the flower scene in order to talk Ross down. I think that scene would have been way better. However, I will give you guys a little fix on how this movie could have been better. First of all, I'm gonna say something that people might not like, but drop Sam from the movie. And instead have a Hulk and She-Hulk combo, and have this be, because of the fact that they can't use the Hulk because of rights issues and stuff like that, why not just have this be like a She-Hulk series on Disney Plus, where you can really delve into everything. Like, the first episode could be her origin story, and then afterwards we can have, like, you know, like a She-Hulk and Hulk team up. Because that is really what this should have been. Instead of getting the She-Hulk show that we got, which was garbage, we could have gotten a She-Hulk show that was a lot better, and an actual sequel to The Incredible Hulk. Because that is what this movie is. That's why in the review I said it's kind of like Civil War. Because Civil War was Captain America and the Avengers. This one is Sam Wilson and The Incredible Hulk. Basically that. And while it does focus on Sam Wilson because of Isaiah Bradley, I feel like you could have just written this thing completely differently, but still kept the main beats going in a way, and it could have still worked. Because Sam is dealing with all of the stuff that Bruce should be dealing with. Because also, there is a lack of connection that we have. Because, like, Bruce Banner has a connection to Ross. He has a connection to Stern, because Stern was the one who would try to undo the hulking in The Incredible Hulk. And also, he has a connection to Betty. He has so many connections in this movie, and he is not even in this movie. And that is a big shame and a big problem with this movie. This should have been a Hulk movie, and I know they're not allowed to make those, and that's why I'm suggesting that this should have been the She-Hulk series instead of what we got. And maybe, you know, the fourth wall breaking could have also happened in that thing and actually be funny, unlike what we got in She-Hulk, because that show is garbage. But overall, I thought this movie was meh. It was fine. And also, Bucky is gonna run for Congress, so I'm proud of my boy. He went from the Winter Soldier to running for Congress. That might set up some stuff for Thunderbolts? Who's to say? I don't know yet. But I'm gonna end the spoiler talk here because I basically talked about everything. But that is my plan to fix it. They should have made this kind of the plotline of the She-Hulk show. So much better. And also, officially confirmed The Incredible Hulk is canon, because I still see that talk online about the fact that The Incredible Hulk is not a part of the MCU. Yeah, it is. Get over it, okay? Because of the fact that we got Abomination back, but Abomination is completely different. It's like, now, what do you want to do? You You literally have Betty Ross show up. It's connected. Doesn't matter what you say. But let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. Go spoiler-filled if you want to. And with that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. And if you did, please like button, subscribe if you're new, if you're not already, turn on notifications. Don't forget to check out the Let's Play channel, link in the description and at the end of the video. And I'll see you guys Sunday for the finale of Dragon Ball Daima. Bye!